Hello and welcome to another episode of Tech It Out. I'm Nikita Singh. It's been an interesting week. We'll take a look at Crew Dragon, SpaceX's newest capsule that's taken an Indian astronaut to the International Space Station. We'll also run you through a checklist on how to keep your smartphone safe and tell you while AI is great for many tasks, it's not your therapist. Now, it's not easy to escape Earth's gravity. On June 25th, Shubhanshu Shukla became the second Indian to make it to space. He hitched a ride on SpaceX's spanking new Crew Dragon capsule on its maiden flight to the International Space Station. Here's the lowdown on Shukla's mission and the spacecraft that's taken him there.
2, 1, ignition, and...
It's a big step for India and a bigger one for private spaceflight. On June 25th, SpaceX's Crew Dragon capsule, tethered to the Falcon 9 rocket, took off from Launch Complex 39A at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The Axiom 4 mission took Shukla and 3 fellow astronauts on a 28-hour journey around the Earth. The spacecraft was piloted by Peggy Whitson, a former NASA astronaut who now represents American aerospace company Axiom Space. With Whitson at the helm, the spacecraft successfully docked at the International Space Station, where they were welcomed aboard by 7 other astronauts who are currently stationed at the ISS.
Pass hatch, receiving great big hugs from Nicole Ayers and the Expedition 73 crew. Axiom at Mission Station. Pilot Shubhanshu Shukla is the next one to come across, representing.
Joining Whitson and Shukla on the 14-day mission are astronauts from Poland and Hungary.
The capsule itself, Grace, has been very kind. I was not feeling very great when we, got shot into the vacuum. But since yesterday, I've been told that I've been sleeping a lot, which is a good sign. So I think that's a great sign. I'm getting used to this quite well, enjoying the views, enjoying the entire experience, learning like a baby, learning the new steps, learning how to walk, learning how to control yourself. Everything, learning how to eat, I think. So it's a new environment, new challenge, and I'm really enjoying this experience with my fellow astronauts here.
The crew is conducting a total of 60 scientific experiments aboard the ISS, covering a wide range of futuristic research. Shukla will lead at least 7 experiments exploring areas like muscle regeneration, plant biology, microalgae growth, and human-computer interaction in microgravity. One of the most groundbreaking studies in the Axiom 4 mission is expected to be the one that will focus on making space travel possible for diabetic people.
On the insulin in space, or the research about diabetes in space and opening up technologies that we might use for someone who might have diabetes, we're very excited about testing that on board. And you may not know, but a person with diabetes can't fly in space because it's disqualifying and not considered to be safe, because we wouldn't know how their bodies would respond. And so if we have the appropriate technology to monitor the individuals, we feel that we can open up that door and that path for a lot of folks in the world, and just open up space a little bit more.
The spacecraft that carried the 4-member crew into Earth's orbit is SpaceX's 5th and final capsule in the Crew Dragon fleet. Capsule C213, as it is officially known, has been named Grace by the crew. Grace is capable of performing all mission phases autonomously without any human intervention. This includes docking and undocking with the International Space Station, and that's made possible with the on-board flight computer that processes data from a suite of sensors to navigate and maneuver precisely in Earth's orbit. Grace is equipped with 16 Draco thrusters for on-orbit maneuvering and altitude control. These smaller engines allow the capsule to make precise adjustments needed for orbital corrections for smooth docking with the ISS. The spacecraft also has an advanced suite of safety systems to ensure crew safety in emergency situations. if there's an issue with the launch rocket, Grace's launch escape system gets activated. SpaceX has integrated 8 powerful Super Draco engines directly into the capsule that can ignite in an instant to propel the capsule and its crew safely away from the Falcon 9 rocket. The capsule's cockpit is distinguished by clean, modern design. 3 large touchscreen displays in the cabin provide the astronauts with real-time data on the craft's status, trajectory, and onboard environment. Grace is designed to withstand multiple trips to space and back. Its heat shield is designed for refurbishment. The capsule is equipped with 2 parachutes to stabilize the craft following re-entry and 4 main parachutes to further decelerate the craft prior to touchdown. Now, if Axiom 4 is any indication, the Grace capsule will take many more astronauts into space on missions in the future. Privately operated space trips promise to make space exploration more accessible to countries who don't have independent space programs.
ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok and the like are large language models. They are inanimate and incapable of empathy, respect, honesty, dignity, or any of the universal values that make us human. Their responses are not subjective based on our emotional and mental states. A recent Stanford study says that replacing your therapist with an AI chatbot is ineffective and can be very dangerous.
Artificial intelligence as a therapeutic tool isn't new. Back in 1966, Joseph Weizenbaum, an MIT professor, created ELISA, the very first chatbot. The chatbot was designed to mimic a psychotherapist, yet the scientist behind ELISA was also incredibly clear. We must never confuse computers with humans. Fast forward to 2025, the distinction between AI and reality, between what's real and what's not, seems to have significantly blurred. Today, people are turning to AI, not just for work, but also for help with their mental health issues. According to a report published in JMIR Mental Health, around 60% of chatbot users admitted to experimenting with AI for mental health issues. And of those, about 50% believe it can be beneficial. Unlike traditional therapy, which can be costly and sometimes inaccessible, AI is immediate, affordable, and available around the clock, especially for those in remote areas or on tight budgets. But does that mean AI can replace human therapists? The answer is not yet. Even the most advanced AI tools fall short of deep human empathy, complex diagnosis, and the ability to catch subtle emotional cues. AI may sometimes miss warning signs, reinforce harmful beliefs, or be manipulated into giving unsafe advice. In 2024, a 14-year-old boy in Florida tragically took his own life after reportedly falling in love with an AI chatbot. And in Belgium, a man ended his life after a chatbot allegedly encouraged him to sacrifice himself to combat climate change. These aren't just isolated headlines, they are critical alarms. Stanford researchers discovered that large language models like ChatGPT made inappropriate and sometimes even harmful statements in about 20% of interactions, with individuals suffering from delusions, suicidal thoughts, and OCD. Researchers believe the reason could be the fact that these AI models are designed for compliance and sycophancy, which is why these models flatter and agree with users rather than offering the challenging or critical perspective, sometimes necessary in therapy. Last month, OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, had to roll back an update that made the platform noticeably more sycophantic. OpenAI admitted that ChatGPT was unintentionally validating doubts, fueling anger, and even encouraging impulsive actions. While AI promises a revolution, it's clear that genuine human connection is something that AI cannot provide. So if you are suffering from any mental issue, maybe going to an actual therapist is the best option. And for those thinking about career paths, perhaps therapy is one field that's truly AI-proof.
A colleague asked me about antivirus apps for mobile phones the other day, and I didn't have a clue. Those apps have faded into oblivion as operating systems on mobile phones have grown more secure, but not secure enough. Given the rise of malware and scammers out to hack your device, you can't really afford to be complacent. Here's a quick refresher on how to protect your device and keep your data safe.
No other device in human history has been quite as ubiquitous as the mobile phone. Its evolution from conception to adoption and explosive growth over the last quarter of a century has been unprecedented. Today, it's a personal computer, communication device, mapping tool, voice recorder, camera, among other things, all rolled into one. The mobile phone is also a portable repository of an individual's identity documents, emails, banking and financial data. Critically, since it's a personal device, the mobile phone also functions as a credible authenticator for proof of identity to authorize a range of third-party actions, and that includes executing banking transactions. Not surprisingly, operating systems like Android and iOS have to work quite hard to make sure that smartphones are smart enough to deal with the barrage of threats directed at compromising their security. From phishing attacks, spyware, deep fake scams, surveillance, and now a deluge of AI-powered malware, the mobile phone is the primary target for cybercriminals. How did things get here? In the 2000s, antivirus software found its way onto mobile phones, piggybacking on user habits from PCs. But most of these were cosmetic, offering reassurance more than protection. Very few people use mobile antivirus software today. Their ability to counter advanced spyware is limited. In 2021, a global investigation revealed that the phones of journalists, human rights activists, and political figures across multiple countries had been targeted by a sophisticated spyware called Pegasus. In recent news, messaging service WhatsApp announced that about 100 journalists and members of civil society on its platform had been targeted by spyware made by an Israeli cybersecurity firm, Paragon Solutions. Now, both of these are examples of zero-click spyware that is prohibitively expensive to deploy and beyond the reach of non-state actors. If you are targeted by spyware of this caliber, then you have limited options. There are no ways to detect these apps in the public domain yet. But let's assume that you're not a person of interest to governments or intelligence agencies. The biggest threat to your smartphone security comes from phishing. Messages with attachments that contain malware or links to fake versions of legitimate sites are passé. Today, AI is being used to create extremely complex malware that embeds itself within apps, sneaks into your phone, lies in wait while surreptitiously stealing identity and financial data, undetected until it's too late. There's a basic hygiene list that everyone needs to follow to minimize exposure to malware. Start by only installing apps from the Play Store or the App Store. Check developer information and reviews before downloading a new app. Go to settings and disable overlay permissions for all apps. Give microphone and camera permissions only to those apps that you use regularly and which need them to operate. But the most foolproof defense is simply to clean the phone completely, take a backup and reinstall phone software regularly. Being vigilant is also important. Our phone gives us clear warning signs when infected by malware. Sudden and unexpected battery drain, unusually high data usage without any apparent reason, frequent app crashes or sluggish performance, strange pop-up messages or unexpected apps appearing on the device. One measure commonly recommended for mobile security is using a virtual private network or VPN. VPNs encrypt your online traffic, which can effectively prevent data interception and improve online privacy. If you're someone who works out of a cafe or regularly uses a public network, then a VPN does add an important layer of security. But even VPNs cannot prevent spyware that exploit vulnerabilities directly in your phone's software or hide your web activity from your service provider. As a rule, safeguard permissions, verify addresses, and use secure tools. Your phone remembers everything, and often more than you do. At the end of the day, despite all your efforts, your phone could still get compromised. Scammers exploit not just vulnerabilities in software, but patterns in human behavior. A deepfake call from a family member in trouble, or fake digital arrests by the police are common examples. All you can do is stay calm and keep your wits about you.
I did enjoy the story on how a human touch is essential in a therapist. If you're looking for an AI-proof career, therapy seems like a pretty solid choice. On that bombshell, this is Nikita Singh signing out. Have a great week, people.